Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Lorraine 40T tank, which I've recently finished. Um, so basically, first overall, just talking about like the tank overall, I guess. Um, it's okay. It's not like really good. I think the worst part about it is just the fact that it's like terribly armored and kind of hard to play because of that. As far as the gun goes, it's got okay DPM. Like the DPM is on the low side for tier 9, but that's mainly because it's an autoloader. And this is about the highest you're ever going to get unless you run food. And I think I have BIA, so I guess we can put that on. All right, there we go. See, it doesn't get much better. The good thing about the gun, though, is it's got 6 rounds in its clip, and the pen is really nice. The pen, you almost never need to fire APCR on this, which is great. Um, it actually, come to think of it, it is one of the lower penetrations of the tier, but you don't really notice it because usually autoloaders get shafted by low penetration, like the T69, the T54E1. But this tank and the Skoda are two autoloaders that are not the case. Pretty good pen. The reload time is kind of long, but it's okay. It starts at about 38 to 40 seconds, but I got it down to about 36 and a half. Clip size 6, as I mentioned. The aim time and accuracy are actually not too bad. I got it down to about 2.3. I think stock it's 2.5. 2.4, okay. It used to be like 3, which was terrible, but that got buffed at some point. The dispersion, 0.33, quite nice, but you do want to aim most of your shots at least halfway. The French tanks typically don't have the best on-the-move accuracy, although this tank's not too bad. It's kind of middle of the road as far as gun stats go. I think the main key feature of this gun is just the fact that it's an autoloader. It's kind of like the 1390 gun. The best thing about it's an autoloader, but it's actually got pretty good stats to back it up, whereas the 1390 is just an absolutely shit gun. So another thing I wanted to point out is 1000 shell velocity. That's really, really good for an AP firing gun. If you choose to fire APCR, the shell velocity goes up to 1250, which is extremely good, but you don't really fire APCR all that much, as I said. Like if you want to, you go ahead, but don't really need to. So mobility-wise, speed really good. You got good terrain resistances. Um, uh, Power to weight is really nice as well. One thing I kind of glossed over there. The engine's really good, and the power to weight's also good. And the reason it's red is just because I have equipment. Like if I was to take all of this stuff off, it'd go green again. But let's see, traverse and turret traverse, pretty standard for a fast tank. Combined, I think you're looking around like 90. I think that sounds right. 90 traverse. Yeah, 34 plus 45. So anyway, armor. Get into that in a minute. So the gun constraints, basically gun depression. It's really good. It's 8 all around except at the back where it's 5. You typically don't want to be firing over to the back anyway. I think I put a replay up on YouTube recently where I took a shot over the back of the tank and the gun went flying all over the place because I ran out of depression. So 1600 health, pretty terrible, but it is French tank. A lot of other tanks have close to like 17, 1800 at this tier. And view range is really good, which is why I run optics. I always run vents on my autoloaders. I think it's a good choice for the third slot. Well, first in this case, but this is not the client. So, and then vert stab. You pretty much always run vert stab over GLD because you should always be moving in medium tanks. But those are my 3 choices for that, and this should be there. Not that it matters, but anyway. So looking at the armor now. Alright, so you can pretty much expect to bounce everywhere on this tank because all of the armor is red. Kappa, the armor on this tank is shite, and not really anything you need to say here other than checking out the gun depression a little bit. So that's really good. You never bounce off this tank. I think the only time I've ever bounced something is like on a ricochet right here, and it says result 100% chance, but that's just because it's using like a 122 as a reference gun. So one thing I should mention here is that if you do go over a hill, if you get tracked, if you get shot here, you will get tracked and damaged in the same shot. You do take ammo rack damage quite frequently. Your turret gets busted quite easily because the turret ring is huge, kind of reminiscent of the old FE4202, how it got turreted. Well, I don't know what you call it, like the turret got broken. You get penned by Artie all the time, so another reason to keep moving. And watch out for this weak spot. Danger, danger. Anyway, I think that's it. Pretty much no arm to speak of, so time for the replays. Alright, so here's the first replay of the Lorraine playing here on Swamp Solo. And, really not a whole lot you can do with this map on this tank. You could either go A-line or you could push to C8. Well, maybe not that far, like C7, which is probably what I'm going to do here. We have a scout, but he looks like he's going to go camp. So, yeah, probably just going to go over here. Hopefully I can spot some of my own targets going up to the northeast corner on the map and get some nice shots onto them. So the Lorraine's really good for setting up ambushes and traps because it's just that quick. The 49 we get a light on. Got a fairly lucky tracking shot there. And I'm really worried that he's going to just put one into me here. But he dies pretty quickly. Get another fairly lucky shot, actually, on the Mutzes. And this tank is not bad at all for auto-aiming. So I do take about, 500 damage there, but it's actually worth it to do 1800. I'm okay with that trade. You can already see the deployment of their team. You know, they sent a lot of their mediums up north. The people that aren't spotted are the heavies, so it's likely that they are committing to the south. I'm very interested to see what their T-69 is doing. As you can see, he's a very skilled player, and I want to hopefully eliminate him. But I won't spoil anything. We'll see him later. Mutz is spotted up there, and he doesn't light me, fortunately. It's always good in your autoloaders to pop up at different locations if you can. Use the reload time to relocate. And I have done so up to this part of the map. So, first contact is an M46 Korea. Get a nice shot onto him, and get one more. But the Mutz puts one into us for being a bit aggressive there. Wasn't really any way I could have avoided that damage, and that's okay. I think about poking for another shot, and this is the they have 3 Mutzes on their team, and this is the least skilled one. But one of the problems with the Lorraine, and I forgot to point this out in the garage, well, not the garage, but Tanks GG, that it's actually kind of hard to outplay bad opponents in this tank because you can't like use tricks of side scraping or you can't really use side scraping or over angling your front in this tank to avoid getting shot and taking damage because they don't need to be good at the game to pen you. So there aren't really a whole lot of tools in your toolbox as far as taking damage or not taking damage goes. Go for a shot on this Mutz, but it's better to look at this AC-48 here. And this is why that tank is absolute garbage. Look at that. I got to shoot him twice for free. I did 612 damage for him. And the reason he missed is because A, his aim time is, well, it's not really that bad, but mainly just because he couldn't see my tank and I could see a lot of him. I shouldn't have taken the shot on the Mutz that I did. I didn't think I'd be able to farm a full AC-46, but I could have, but I didn't. So we're winning fairly handily, but they are coming back. Their T-69 has made an appearance in the south, killing off some of our heavies. And interestingly, our E-75 died. Like, maybe he didn't have much support, but it just seems very strange that he would die that quickly. So, because of 2 pretty darn good clips, especially the first one, I'm up to about 3,300 damage now. No blind shots taken. And that's to be expected. If I average rolled every shot out of the 12, I would have had 3,600. So that's a net roll of a little under my average roll, which is okay. It's one of those things where, since the average roll is 300, rolling under 300 just feels like a lot less than it really is. Like rolling for 200, it's like, oh, that's a huge low roll, when really it's not. So, get a beat on this SU. I'm going to take some auto-aim shots until he starts moving. Get one more shot into him, and I don't have to waste a shot for the kill, because he is dead. The reason I came back to base is I was anticipating more of a heavy push, and it turns out their heavies are coming. They're just, Type 4 heavy, IS-6, not the fastest tanks in the world. And that the Tiger II actually didn't even go. He's another rather skilled player, and he came back sensing that a mirror threat from our team, we were pushing into their base. So I probably would have gotten a shot on that 69 if that damn hill wasn't there. The one that's like kind of off to my left now. Seems to always be in the way, shooting across the way. The T-30 is spotted back at base. He went back as well. Also, I'd like to point out, there are a few spots on this map, like this ditch here, where if you go in full speed right here, you're actually going to lose a lot of health going over that. So watch out for that. Another one's over here. You'll lose a lot of health going over that if you're not careful. I've done that so many times. So I'd like to push up with the KR and the T-69, but I stop here because a few people look like they might be pushing our team, like this 69, and I should not have taken that shot. I get one shot into him, but I don't manage to hit the others. And if I hit the others, he may have been dead, which is really not good because that's going to hurt us a lot at the end of this game. The Type 4 Heavy gets spotted at base, and that's a good thing to note. I get a kind of lucky shot of this Tiger, and that's the shot that I was waiting for. I knew there was one shot in here that's like retarded RNG. Like, that shot should never have penned. Looks like it actually did connect with the front of his turret, which is what I was hoping for, but the probability of that happening was so low that you can only blame that one on RNG. Somehow the Scout is still on a lot of health, and our T-34-1's getting his ass handed to him, but it's kind of what you could expect. I never really liked that thing. A lot of people do, but finishing our reload here, we're going to go for the Type 4. Their T-69, as I mentioned, it really is hurting us that I didn't kill him, because he's really brought this back to their team. He's sitting on 5 kills while I'm only at 2. I've probably done more damage than he has, but not really going to matter, is it? Artillery gets a really great shot on him. You won't hear me say that quite as often as I probably will soon. But that's really what I have to do in this one. I just have to hope that our artillery hits. I-6 here. Unfortunately, I don't pen, and I'm not going to push my luck there. I can't really take the chance that I'm going to pen, and that he's going to miss, I guess. What I'm more worried about. Our WZ, again, is doing a great job of just keeping things lit. He's not worrying about damage. I'm calling in fire on this guy left and right. Artillery splashes him once again, and I get the kill. So we're struggling to keep this game alive. The T-30 and the T-69 are working well together. And just looking at the HP, this game is winnable, but it is going to be difficult. The WZ takes the kill on the IS-6, which is great, but it's still going to be very, very difficult. The T-30 is on well over 1,000 health, 1,300 plus. T-29's full health, despite being not the best of players. And the T-69, of course, is going to be a pain to deal with. So I'm reloading. I'm wanting this WZ to fall back. He's doing a really great job of keeping things lit, but I don't want him to get clicked or snapshotted by anything. But, did you see that? Full health T-29? Nope! And that artillery actually has the stock gun. So, well memed. Also well memed. Did you see that? Again, did you see that? That spotting. Absolute BS. That guy was, I swear he was behind the hill by the time I poked around, but nope. And it's going to happen again here. I can take a hit if I absolutely need to from this guy. Get one into him. Artillery hits him. And I duck in behind this corner so I don't get clicked. I'm really worried about this T-69. I don't know where he is. T-30's coming for me. I don't want to take a hit from him either, although if I absolutely need to, I can. Oh, wait, I can't, because I drive like an absolute retard. So, I can no longer take a hit from a T-30, because I can't drive. The T-69 is a one-shot, but he's still dangerous. He knows how to play. Our artillery is doing a great job, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Let's see what I can do here. This is a bit dangerous because I'm exposed to just about everything, so in hindsight this was probably not a good move, but sitting there at the same time probably wasn't the best of moves either. I get one really nice shot, our artillery misses. I take a hit from the T-30 and he low rolls, so I am still alive. The T-69 is spotted right there. and it just wasn't enough. So 6,100 damage. Not a whole lot more I could have done this game. I think I made the right moves except for possibly the end. I made myself an easy target. And as I said, this guy's actually got the stock gun and he's one-shotting tier 7, so nice meme. Turns out that in the battle results, the T69 did quite a lot of damage. It goes around 4,500, which is a great result in that tank. So at least somebody had a good game. It wasn't like their entire team had bad games and ours was just worse. No, at least he had a good game. So that's good. I'm telling our artillery, or I'm thinking to myself, that he should fake one way and then go the other. But it turns out this T69 is quite cheeky, so that's the game. Hope you enjoyed. I got another one coming up, I think. Maybe two, actually. I don't remember. So I'll get those coming up, and see you on that one. Alright, so here's game 2. And if I didn't do so before, right before we get into the action here on Pilsen, I'd like to explain my ammo loadout down here. So the reason I have APCR bound to my number 1 key is solely because I was getting pretty close to 3rd Mark of Excellence, and I just really wanted to get that done. So I was going to do this until I got that Mark of Excellence. I will say, though, it's a terrible idea to bind Premium to number 1, unless you like absolutely have no regrets firing it. Like half the stuff I shoot this game, I don't really need Premium for. The first clip is actually pretty justifiable because most of what I shot at is pretty heavily armored, as you'll see. So anyway, like I said, playing on Pilsen with Ryan from the clan, and I thought about going to the field, but we turned around because there's like no support over there. Like, yeah, we're tier 9s, but they have 2 tier 10 mediums that we'll run into in a little while, so I get a pretty terrible shot there. I don't really aim it that well, but that's okay. And that's another reason why binding Premium with your first key is not a good idea. When you're at the beginning of a game, you typically fire more like snapshots, I guess, at light tanks and whatnot. So that's another reason why I don't think binding Premium to number 1's a good idea. And we find our first person here, the C75. We get one nice shot into his lower plate. We get one shot into his side. Get another into his front. And not going to push my luck now because the T55 is there and the E75 doesn't really need to aim much to hit me. Like, that's a pretty good example. The E75, if he's using the top gun, which I assume he is, if he has that gun, he does not actually need to worry about auto-bouncing because his is a 128. He can auto-pen pretty much everything on my tank except for like the front of my turret, which is not angled enough to bounce anything. The T55 is a different story, but saying you can bounce something and saying you will bounce something is two very different things. So, finding this T55 now, he shoots me in the turret ring, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. The turret ring is so big that the turret dies quite often, and I choose not to fix it because even though it's annoying, it's not really a super necessary thing. I like checking behind me on this map because field usually dies pretty quick if the top tiers don't commit to it, which I technically am not a top tier, but I'm glad I didn't go over there. Our first clip was pretty reasonable. We only took one hit for doing 1,200 damage, which is a great trade. And we're almost reloaded. So as you can see, the reload's not too bad. Still firing off the Premium, which is going to run out sooner or later, so we're fine there. The C75's turning around, so I decide that I might try and get one into him. And I do. And that's a bad shot to take, so I don't try for it. Shot on the cupola doesn't manage to hit. And now the field has completely fallen. Our WC is just about to die to the T-54, and Ryan tells me, okay, if you've got 4 shots, let's push these guys. Because the 54 he won, he said, was on reload. So good call there by him. He takes 1 kill, I take the other, and we're going to move in on this guy now. So already up to 2k damage. I keep him tracked. Well, try to keep him tracked. A really, really poor shot there. I actually assumed that it would overmatch, but it didn't. So, rip. T-34 is pushing through the middle on their team, so that kind of is the first thing to clue me in that we might need to hurry up on this flank, and I tell Ryan that. But anyway, he's pushing into the T-49, so I've got about 15 seconds left on reload, so I decide, okay, I'm going to go help him, but I really don't want to get shot by this T-49. and I make sure that the T95 on their team is well committed to the middle, because he was just up here, and I didn't want that to be my downfall. So T49's here, and it turns out he's already fired. He's not looking at me, which is really good because those things can f you up. So anyway, I tried to track this guy, but luckily I high rolled a second shot, and he doesn't even get the chance to turn. So this is just perfect situational awareness here, and a pretty lucky shot on that last one. A low roll, but I'm not too fussed about it. And that's what situational awareness gets you in this game. Really good opportunity there, and I took advantage of it pretty well. And got about 4k damage. So you can see that even though the DPM is actually pretty low on this tank, solely for the fact that it's an autoloader, it's really not that bad, because the damage builds quickly. So artillery almost hits us while we're inside a building, so fair and balanced. And it got about 5 seconds on reload, so... Unfortunately, Ryan eats it from the T-71 of all things. I think he was penning his frontal armor like nothing. Reloaded now, and I'm going to put the herd into this T-71. And I actually choose not to kill him for 2 reasons. First of all, I don't want to take another hit from him. Even a gun like that is just like, you don't really want to be taking small damage if you don't have to. Put one into the T-34, who is firing APCR. Not that it really matters to me so much. But I got 3 left. And I'm wondering if this T-54... Yep, he is going to do it. Couldn't really remember. But I have no idea why he's doing that. And he's also using... It's worth noting that you can take a look at the T-54 gun. I guess I don't need to pause it. You can't really see it because all this crap in the way, but he's using the gun with the muzzle brake, and that's not what you want to use. You want to use the one that's like smaller with better gun stats, except for penetration, which is not really a difference. Now this was a little surprising to me. I didn't actually know I could pen it. I was just trying to track it and hopefully do damage, and somehow it worked out for me. So the rest of my team can get the kill now that he's immobilized and a one-shot. So this game's actually looking really good now. I'm on 4 kills, almost 6k damage, which is an amazing game in this tank. I did fire all my premium, like I said, so F to pay respects bank account. All they got left now is artillery, and that's what I'm most worried about right now, is actually the artillery. Because I know this T-34 is looking the other way, and I'm going to auto-aim on him. Or no, I don't. Going to bait one shot. I high-roll to the gods there. And I shut him down. I decide to reload immediately, and I duck into cover. And I think Ryan and TS was like, okay, just break contact. Just get unspotted, dude. It's not worth it. And I told him right now that I'm having a really good game. And that hopefully I can pick up some artillery kills. So, actually, I wanted to make a note of one thing after I got unspotted. They have a batch-out artillery on the other team. And whenever you see one of those and you're going to try and clean it up, it's almost never in the spot that you expect it to be, because those things are so fast, they'd like to run away at the end of the game. So what I'm going to do, instead of going to the normal RD spots at like A1, A2, A9, A0, is I'm going to go all the way south towards our base and try and head him off if he's running away. I'm going to speed up the replay because, spoiler alert, nothing's going to happen for a while. My team's advancing, and the Yag Panther's probably going to be our coal mine canary to try and find the artillery. I was surprised not to find him there, but I'm okay with that because it's very easy to work the 8 degrees of gun depression on this tank over in A9, A0. Don't see him there. Fully loaded, ready to go. Our team starts capping, which is a good thing. They're only capping with the Yag Panther and E75. I come over here because it doesn't look like I'll get the gun depression in the other spot. And I find him right quick, get an average roll on him, and I pick up the kill, even though the intra-clip reload of 2.73 isn't that good. Artillery's armor is better than mine. Rip. But I managed to pick up the kill. Before our team caps, of course, so. 7 kills, almost 7,000 damage, which is a really good Lorraine game. I did show you like how well you can use the AP and the APCR. I don't load any HE because the chance of getting a waffle is so low that it's not really worth it at all. Plus, if you're committing to really reload for like 40 seconds and you're only going to do like what, 300 more damage for a clip is not worth it even then. So anyway, a really good game. Hopefully showcasing some of the things Lorraine's good at. Gun depression towards the end, speed and flanking ability in the middle, and some good coordination with my buddy in T55A. So that's all for the Lorraine review. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.
Make it, do it.